What is the Sexy Brutale? Is it a mansion? A casino? A lounge? A theater? Well, no matter what it is built upon a foundation of secrets and lies. In short order, its carved walls and gilded furnishings become a cage to entrap its visitors. White marble runs red with blood. As midnight strikes, rain falls like bloody tears upon the manor, and the violence begins again and again and again. The Sexy Brutale is a puzzle adventure game where you play as a guest who has been invited to a lavish mansion for an evening of entertainment, only to discover that the guests are slowly being eliminated one by one. And not only that, but the entire mansion itself seems to be stuck in some sort of time loop, where at the end of each day, at the stroke of midnight, everything resets, only to play out again exactly the same way, with the guests inside trapped in an endless nightmare of inevitable death and betrayal. However, while everyone else is trapped within a cycle of causality, you alone are able to remember previous events, and therefore act with autonomy. Gameplay-wise, Sexy Brutale is a fairly traditional adventure game. At the start of each day, you'll wake up and be free to roam about the mansion, exploring rooms, collecting items, and gathering information about the environment and the other guests. Now, the game is divided into a series of chapters, each one taking place in a specific wing of the estate. Your goal in each of these chapters is to find the character who is going to be murdered next and come up with a plan to save them. Now, this is slightly more complicated than it sounds. As a man out of time, you cannot directly interact with any of the house's servants or guests, and attempting to do so causes all kinds of undesirable paradoxes. And this complication means that you can't even be in the same room as the victims when they're being eliminated. And this means that you'll need to do some investigation, following people around the mansion, listening in on conversations, and ultimately piecing together the chain of events that will lead to the deaths of the various guests of the mansion. Now, chances are you won't get it the first time, and that's to be expected. And so, as previously explained, after 12 hours have passed, at the stroke of midnight, every day resets. You will be sent back to your closest checkpoint, all of the events will be set in motion again, and you'll have one more chance to save the life of your target. Eventually, when you succeed and finally manage to break the cycle, the guest will thank you, and very often you will unlock new items or abilities that will allow you to progress into new areas of the mansion so that you can find and protect the other victims. Now, I'm very happy to say that the Sexy Brutale has a number of very positive aspects. For starters, the gameplay is quite good, and even rare amongst puzzle games in that it encourages logical reasoning. This is a game where the design is based not upon guesswork or trial and error, but instead upon investigation and understanding. Your goal in each chapter is to build up the sequence of events and then consider how you can best disrupt those events in order to get the result that you desire. The puzzles themselves are all well isolated into their environments, and there's very little inventory management or experimentation. The game also has excellent presentation. All of the characters and environments are rendered in a delightfully over-exaggerated style. The music is catchy and extremely thematic. and the whole world just exudes an opulently sinister atmosphere.
I had no intention to fall or to lose my calm.
And even though it's a puzzle game, the story is also pleasantly enjoyable. A lurid tale of death and damnation with several surprisingly emotional high points. Now, the whole game should probably only take you about 8 to 10 hours to finish, but that's right around the sweet spot for puzzle games, so that's perfectly acceptable, really. In the end, I would give the Sexy Brutale 4 out of 4 stars, and my recommendation. If you're looking for a narratively focused adventure game that uses a repetitive timeline to both solve puzzles and tell its story, then yeah, this is one to definitely look into. Alright, well, thanks once again for listening, and here's to the next time, and hopefully the time after that.